Creating an onboarding hub with Simplemnt is really easy and starts with first creating a template. I'm going to go ahead and create a template here today to capture some provider information from my customer and then email that third-party provider to give me access on behalf of my customer. As you can see in this template, I already have a section added, so I'm going to go ahead and add in a task where I ask my customer for their provider information and details. First, I'll name my task. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask my customer who their provider is. I'll use a drop-down question to get this answered. After I collect this information, I'm going to want the user ID for that provider from my customer. So I'll go ahead and add that in as a text input. I can also grab which provider they chose in the first question and display that in the second question prompt as a variable. Finally, to make sure that my customers answer this question in a format that I need them to, I'm going to go ahead and add in validation rules to only accept numbers as an acceptable response here. After I've put these two questions together, I can preview this task. And the first thing I'm going to notice here is that both of the components are currently displaying. And the second component has this blank here that only gets filled in after I provide an answer for the first question. So I'm going to actually go ahead and hide the second question because I don't want my customers to see that blank get filled in. To do that, I'll use our conditionals on the second component here to only display when the first question has some value entered in it. When I do this, I can go ahead and preview the task again. And this time, I only see the first question I'm asking my customer, after which, when I select the provider, the second question prompts for them to complete. Now, I know that after my customer answers this information, if they give me provider A, I have to send an email to provider A requesting access on behalf of that customer. I can set up an action in Simplemnt to automatically send that email out when my customer fills out this task. To do that, I'll go ahead and add an action in and choose a trigger. In this case, it'll be when the task is complete. And the action I'm going to have sent is to send an email. So I know that I need to send this to provider A. And I also know that I want to CC the customer, which I'll do using default variables to make sure it always goes to their email address. I can put in a generic subject. And then add in a body message to that email and include the user ID my client provided me with in the task. The last thing I need to do here is ensure that this email will only get sent if provider A is selected. So once again, I'm actually going to set up a conditional rule here. I'll select the trigger question, which will be the first question, and I'll have it so that the email is only sent when the first question is equal to provider A. Now that I have this created, when I go ahead and create an onboarding hub and share it with my customers, when they fill out this form, if they select provider A and provide me with the user ID, I will then be able to automatically email that provider with that information and move that element of my customer onboarding process forward.